Hi, CMattDye here. Thanks for stopping by and checking out today's video. Hopefully you're having an awesome day. And today I want to do the top 5 CNFT projects, what I have done, and future minting. So what's been going on in the space? It's been kind of interesting. You can see the top 5, mostly familiar names. Let's jump into the volume really quickly. And you can see day over day, trades and NFTs sold are up, which is kind of cool. Volume is still down. Week over week, which matters most, everything is up across the board, which is very, very cool. And then if we go over to month over month, see everything's still a little bit down. However, week over week is up, which is pretty cool. And we'll see if it actually can stay like that. Let's go to overall volume, and we can see that we did have a spike right here, which is pretty cool on February the 28th, and slight spike on March 1st. And then it's kind of been a little bit stagnant. That's kind of what I wanted to see. I talked about this in the last video, wanting to see a couple spikes. That's nice. And, you know, seeing volume mostly staying around this area with a few spikes, that's totally okay, and that is fun to see. So the space has been good lately as far as flipping. Some older projects have been going down in price, but that's been given a lot of good sniping opportunities. So let's jump into the top 5 and talk about a few things. So number 1 is Goombles. They just minted recently. I know they have a game coming out. For me, they were 100% flip, and it was a decent one, and now it's coming back down a little bit. So that's interesting. Ape Society, no surprise there. Paper hands keep selling them to get liquidity, and buyers are stepping in. Clays, same thing. Some people are trying to get some liquidity. Others are stepping in to get some good prices. And SpaceBudz, same thing. Pavia. People are buying Pavia, and I think the reason is because they've been showing different virtual lands lately for the past couple weeks. You can see that picture there. You can see this guy here running through town. I've seen something similar to this, over a month ago, but this is a little bit more interesting. The lands are not as blocky. You can see this building here. That's kind of cool. You can see this guy walking through here. You can see this bear, Valentine's bear, whatever. And then this nice little house here. So they do have some cool things, and I think that might be driving some of the purchasing right now of people just trying to get in. So that's interesting there. Outside of the top 5, you have Orimob, Alley Cats, Raving Ravens, Soul Shards from the BTC Ordinals, Clay Good Charlotte, Cornucopias, Chode Kongs, Ball Scout Rocket Club, Cabins by the Ape Society, Mallard Order, Mutants, Micefia, Ada Handle, Pitches by Clay Nation, and Cardano Crocs Club. So the majority of those are the larger established projects. You have a couple newer projects in there, and that's probably just because of little things that they're doing. Micefia, for example, there's a smaller project that I don't think will stay in the top 20 for that long. Alley Cats, that's a project that's been there for a little while. They've been doing stuff, so that's interesting. They are newer, but they are doing stuff. Orimob, also newer, and when I say that, several months ago. But, it's not like over years like with SpaceBudz, Clay Nation. So anyway, let's get into the top 5 and talk about it. So number 1 is Goombles. Goombles minted not that long ago. If we scroll down here, you can see the first listing was on the 28th of February. And the floor price was at 214, or is at 214 right now. 13,000 all-time high sell. Holders 1367 out of 5,000. For me, they were a flip because I'm not really looking into getting into a gaming NFT. If getting into a gaming NFT, I want to get into a game that I like. So personal reasons. So Right now they are finding a floor right now. They have not been found. You can see they minted. That flip would have been good, and it was. And then it came down and just started to move sideways. And now it's encroaching upon the lows that it's ever been. And it's trying to find a floor. I assume that it would come into the 100s, and then we'll see what happens from there. I don't really have a lot to talk about on this one, just because the numbers look kind of bad. I don't know where it's going to stop, so that's why my guess is in the 100s, somewhere in there. But that's just pure speculation, because who knows. If we scroll down here, there's 1,319 listed. You can see that the top 5 hold quite a bit. Number 5 has 31, number 1 has 67. But 1,319 listed, we'll see what all of those listings do. Do people start undercutting each other? What happens? That's going to be the big reason. Does it go lower? Does it not? But I'm thinking it can go a little bit lower just looking at this, but it's still trying to find a floor that has not been found yet. So that's my analysis on Goombles. Next, Ape Society. Ape Society floor is 8,000. All-time high sell of 250,000. Holders 1990 out of 7,000. If we scroll down here, you don't have that many listed. And then, obviously there's a lot of whales in this project. Everybody knows that. The numbers speak for themselves. So if we look at this, you can see that first over here, it came down south of 7,000. A lot of buyers stepped in. Over here, it came down literally to 7,000. Interesting. And then buyers started to step in. I'm expecting some sideways action here. Can it go up a little bit? Yeah. But it has to take out that 9 to 10,000 to show that it's in a larger sideways range. It can be in the smaller range and just stay south of 9,000. So it'll be interesting, but you definitely have some people stepping in to buy this project. It is a larger project. A lot of people are hyped about it, and it's brought a lot of people in from other blockchains. So that's one thing that's keeping it up. So we'll see what happens with this one, but it is looking pretty good. People stepping in over here to buy, people stepping in over here to buy, and then what happens over here. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. It's going to be in that sideways range. If it takes out 9 to 10,000, if it doesn't, then it can still be in the sideways range. But if it doesn't take it out and come back down, then there is a little bit of risk down here that it can start to fall. But there's not that many listed, so that's why I would think it's just going to stay sideways. I think these buys are pretty safe at the moment. So those are my thoughts on Ape Society. Next, let's go to the Clay Nation. Clay Nation floor is at 3,069. We love those meme numbers, so that's pretty cool. 100,000 all-time high sell. Holders 4,273 out of 9,970. If we scroll down here, you can see they don't have that many listed either. The supply is larger than the Ape Society, so there's going to be a little bit more listed. But clay holders mostly are diamond hands. You have some people that jump in and then they try to flip it. Mostly those are in Good Charlotte because it's a lower price collection, but you do have it in clay as well, just like in any project. You can see the holders, top 5 hold a lot. So they have a lot of whales in this project as well. We can see here that the floor has kind of broken down a little bit, but I was looking at that 3,000 to 3,500 just to see what would happen. I think it is a good area to pick them up, but with that said, it can go a little bit lower. So you want to keep an eye on that 3,000, 2,950 floor. If it goes below that, it's possible that if there's enough listed below that, it could drop a little bit. Like I said, there's not that many listed, so it could drop below, spend maybe half a day or something, and then pop back above. That could be a thing. I don't expect it to go too low, however, so I think 2,500 would be the ultimate floor that I would think if it does drop below that 3,000 level, and then just maybe go sideways, just like with what I expect Ape Society to do, just because people are trying to get liquidity so that way they can mint new projects. That's kind of how it goes. Sometimes you have people trying to buy the more established projects just to hold them for a while, and then you have some people trying to sell the established projects so that way they can mint new ones, the shiny object syndrome. So anyway, those are my thoughts on clay. Let's jump to SpaceBudz. SpaceBudz floor is at 3,700. Haven't looked at these guys in about a week. 510,000 all-time high sell, which is phenomenal. Holders 3,262 out of 10,000. And if we scroll down, you don't have that many listed for sell. Overall, under 1,000, which is good. The majority of those are on SpaceBud's own marketplace. If you look at the top holders, it is crazy how many that are being held. Number 5 holds 131. Number 1 holds 260, which is really good. If we look at the numbers here, it's actually holding up pretty well. It's holding up pretty well. If we look down here, that 3,100 would be an area that I wouldn't want to see price get below, but I'm thinking it probably stays above 3,500, 3,700. I would expect price to stay over that actually, and then maybe push up a little bit more. So we'll have to wait and see what actually happens with that. I do like the SpaceBudz project. I think they're very, very strong. I think they're going to continue to be strong. Their founder, Alessandro, has done a lot of good stuff for the Cardano community. One notable thing being NAMI wallet. That's kind of cool. But I think the SpaceBudz is going to be strong, and they're going to continue to be a strong project. So, well, they have some cool things coming out, and I think that's going to really drive a lot of hype, but also people just wanting to own a SpaceBudz. So if they do come down a little more, yeah, that probably would be a good time to try to pick them up, especially if they go under that 3,500 and go down a little more. That would definitely be a good time to pick some up if that happened. But right now it's looking like it's starting to find that temporary floor to be able to get a move up. So that's what I'm seeing with SpaceBudz. Next, Pavia. I talked about Pavia a little bit, just them showing different things that they're doing, and right now their floor is at 144. It's been very stagnant for a very long time. 50,000 all-time high sell. Holder 17,076 out of 100,000. Yeah, that's a big mint, but it's a metaverse, which they're expecting a lot of people to really jump into. Cardano doesn't have that big of a community. It's growing, but it's not as big as, like, say, Ethereum. Like if a sandbox on Ethereum has a lot of people in it, whereas Pavia, not so much. In my opinion, Pavia is not the best metaverse on Cardano. So that takes away a little bit from it. You have a lot of competing metaverses, and then you have some totally different metaverses on Cardano. So that kind of takes away from it a little bit. There's a lot, but in the next few years, those numbers won't look as big as they do today, I think. So I think that's what's driving a lot of the stagnation for Pavia right now. You can see it's just not really done anything. I think I made a trade over here and got some Pavia, and then the Pavia was kind of just a bonus, and I just sold them right away, just because I know the metaverse is going to take a while, and Pavia is not really one of the ones I'm looking at. That's just a personal thing. No hate one way or the other, just sharing my thoughts. But do I think Pavia is going to play a big role? I do. I think they're going to be good. I think the stuff that they've been showing lately over the past few weeks is pretty cool, actually. Last year they were showing like blocky stuff, like everything, like perfectly, designed neighborhood. Everything looks exactly the same. If you're running through it, it was super boring. But now they're actually showing different stuff, and I'm kind of excited about that. But Pavia would be very low on my metaverse list personally. So anyway, that's what's going on right now in the markets. So personally, I have not bought anything off the secondary market. I have flipped a couple of mints, and they've been pretty decent. So that's kind of what I've done. I'm looking on the secondary for different things that I might want to pick up, but just haven't gotten anything yet. And besides that, I do have a project overview video now of my project Alpha Surfers. I'm going to link that down below just in case you want to check that out if you are interested. It's a 22-minute video, but I think it's a good one. I made it the shortest, having the most information, so that I'm excited about that. We do continue to give away some good whitelists. We have a giveaway coming up today. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Going forward in the whitelist mints, we do have the Goofy Gopher Mining Club. They're minting on the 11th of March. You have the Stag Alliance, which is March 22nd for the whitelist, the 23rd for the public. You have Pawn. They're coming up. Ad Astrium is coming up. I'm looking into them. They're coming on my Twitter Spaces on Friday. I can link that down below. I think that's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll be able to learn a little bit more about that project. If you haven't learned about it yet, come in and check that out and learn a little bit about the project. It's a astronomy based project. Growing up, I was big into astronomy. I always loved watching meteor showers, stuff like that. So I think it's going to be a fun project. So I'm excited to check that out. So with that, thanks for watching the video. I appreciate you. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you in the crypto markets. Take care.